Hey everyone, welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Film Theory, Who's Really in Control? This is for the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV series, I believe. Yeah. Because I'm not seeing anything totally different here. Plus, as this is going on, I'm like on the fourth video of the original series, so I think I'm kind of good. And I don't have that many spoilers, because as I'm looking at the thing down here, oh wait, there's the first episode. Yeah, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is gonna spoil some stuff. Crap. Yeah. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Hit the notification button to be notified. That way I already said that. So I spit a bit on my... What is wrong with me? I don't need to spit on it. Anyway, the link to this video will be down in the description below. So if you want to see the original video, be sure to do that. But also, give Film Theory some love and support for the video that they made. And also, if you have any other recommendation videos, leave it down in the comment section below. Other than that, let's start this video, shall we?
A turn of the crank, a spin of the wheel, fear, dread, excitement. What is it you feel? The cycle resets. We live once more to repeat the mistakes we've made before. So again, we join our yellow friend. Remember, my dears, death
is never the end.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory, the best theory show online provided you log in first.
But I don't know the password.
Too bad for you, I guess. For everyone who does remember their password, today we're diving back into the twisted world of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. In case you need a quick refresher, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, or DHMIS, started as a classic YouTube horror series that mixed Tickle Me Elmo with Dead Space. It was charted as a classic YouTube
horror there was 6. Okay.
Tickle Me Elmo with Dead Space. It was children.
So I'm more than halfway done. Okay.
Dose of existential dread. But then earlier this year, DHMIS did the impossible. It got itself a full-blown real-life TV show on the British Channel 4. And oh boy, is this thing full of cryptic secrets and hidden mysteries. For one, this guy right here, the yellow guy, he's probably a dead kid. Because of course he's a dead kid. This is a theory channel after all. We've got our standards. In this case...
yeah, that's true. Let's be honest. FNAF started it all. FNAF started it all. You know, it's weird to think that FNAF is probably the source of why we're seeing multiple bunch of dead kid stuff, to be honest. Not that I'm complaining or anything. I mean, it was a good series and all that, so... You can't really disagree with what the mass wants. And sadly for us, we're all the mass. So, yeah. Can't say that we did something bad, because we're technically the cause.
Case we theorized that yellow guy is the puppet representation of a child named David. A child who was tragically killed by his mother Leslie during a car accident. The dollhouse and puppet world of DHMIS that we now see is just Leslie trying to come to grips with this traumatic event from her past and move on. But that's hardly been the only theory that's popped up around this new series. One major unsolved mystery revolves around these strange symbols that appear in various locations all throughout the 6-episode run. I actually first noticed these back during the teaser in spring of 2022 as one of the symbols appeared on a sticky note in the fridge.
Huh. Well, what do you know? Those symbols did appear. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Just saying, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. It could be like a clue to something. Wait. Did I see this symbol before? I'm pretty sure I did. Okay, let me analyze this for a quick second. I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember where. It's been a while. Let me think. Well, it has to be something involving DHMIS, so yes.
At the
It'll
time,
come to
we had
me.
nothing to go off of.
Plus he'll say it.
Resident chemistry expert staff was able to confirm that it wasn't some sort of chemical structure. So we filed it away as a weird little detail that might pop up again, and pop up again it did, loyal theorists. These symbols are everywhere on the show. On computers, on refrigerators, on blackboards, and most notably of all, on the cover of the mysterious book that Leslie gives Yellow Guy in the final episode of the season.
$5 says that book is about necromancy. Because, well, she's bringing puppets back to life, they're bleeding and all that, and so on and so forth. If that's not a clue that's about necromancy, I don't know what is. Seriously, if it's not, I would be surprised. And I would call it's pretty BS stuff.
You wanted this, didn't you?
And while at first these little drawings might seem just like random shapes used to decorate the scene, in reality they're symbols with a deeper meaning that can absolutely be solved. And that's important, because these characters are clearly stuck in a cycle, and decoding the book might be their only hope in breaking that cycle. Don't forget to change your batteries, loyal theorists, cause it's theory time! It's theory time! You'll see. Now, while I'd love to sit here in the recording closet and tell you that today's episode is gonna be me solving the symbol mystery, I can't do that, because someone else beat me to the punch. You see, as I was doing research for this episode, I stumbled across a series of videos produced by the channel Rem Games here on YouTube. A series of videos where he claimed to do exactly what I was trying to do, solve the coded message on the front of the book. And after watching the videos, you know what? I think he pretty much nailed it. Me and the rest of Team Theorists loved the way that he solved the mystery, so instead of just rehashing it all ourselves only to come to the same conclusions, we decided to invite him over today to represent his research in the episode. Hey Rem.
Hey, I'm Remy. Yes, like the rat. I'm a YouTube gamer and theorist who tolerates FNAF and uses glitchy text in my video titles.
Welcome to the family, sir. Something tells me you're gonna fit right in.
I also like the internet creepypasta stuff, which is how I got involved with the whole Don't Hug Me mystery. You see, while I was watching, I noticed the symbols showing up over and over again. Obviously, the biggest and most important one is going to be on the cover of the book that Leslie gives to Yellow Guy, but you'll notice that inside that big symbol are a bunch of smaller ones that we see repeated in other parts of the world. For example, this symbol here on the top right can be seen on the spine of the yellow book in the show's intro.
Or this symbol here, which appears in both the show's trailer as well as this spatial distribution that Yellow Guy drafts up in the final episode.
Clearly, they mean something. They're put in those places with intent, but how do you start to figure out what they could possibly mean? Well, you look for instances where a symbol is directly related to something someone says, and that's exactly what we get in episode 4.
Try my name.
Oh yeah, okay.
That inverted P is Duck's name.
This is further supported by the fact that during Duck's funeral in episode 2, we see that same symbol on his plane. Again, the symbol and Duck are connected.
Exactly. But you know where else it shows up? Here, on this title card from episode 3, Family. But you see what else is there? It's another one of these symbols. The one with a bunch of circles and curved lines. So knowing that the one symbol represents Duck, what have we just seen happen to him in the story? Well, Red Guy has joined him for dinner back at the house. That curvy symbol represents Red Guy. That's why it's their two names on this title card and why Yellow Guy isn't mentioned.
And again, that's not the only time that we see this symbol.
I can actually see understand the whole duck thing, but if we had the red guy, yeah, that makes sense, because those two discover something about family while yellow guy is like forced into this family situation, and then his dad comes, and I don't know.
Symbol making sense as Red Guy's name. We see the symbol appear again in the trash of Red Guy's office during episode 1, Jobs. Clearly, this is him throwing away paperwork that's been addressed to him. There's also the sticky note that's on the fridge that I mentioned earlier, which would make sense if he's marking something on the fridge as his.
So lastly, we need Yellow Guy's name. And while we don't have as one-to-one evidence to show this, we can figure it out by process of elimination. When the show shows a wide shot of Leslie's dollhouse in episode 6, we can see 3 symbols written on the walls. The first is Duck's name. We know that for sure. The second is Red Guy's name, which we feel highly confident in, which means that the last symbol here, this little robot face with a pointy tail, by process of elimination, that must be Yellow Guy.
Which now brings us back to the mystery book. Within that one huge symbol on the cover, you can see all 3 characters are represented. But why? What are the creators trying to say with this new language? And what are these other symbols connected to our main 3?
Well, if we look at the way that the cover is...
Okay, so this one is Yellow Guy's name. Don't know how it came to that assumption, but I can just kind of... Oh wow! It actually has the worm and the battery and the coin involving the first episode. The worm involving the internet thing and friendship. The battery for the last one. Oh, okay, Duck. The yellow guy's name, which I think is Rat Eyes, and Red Guy. So there's 1, 2, 3 left. So what could that
It can
be?
actually tell us a lot. This is going to be a massive oversimplification of some complicated linguistics, but there are a lot of different ways to make a written language. For example, English and other Romantic languages are made up from alphabets. They have letters that you can put together to form syllables or words, and then you can use those to make up more complicated ideas.
But that's not the only way to make a written language. Another major way is by using logograms, where different symbols represent individual words. Kanji in Japanese and ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, those are examples of logographic writing systems. But if
Yeah, but this is basically words spelled up and down, so for Egyptian, and the other one is something else because I
you
don't
take it one step
fully
further,
understand that one,
logograms, you
but
get
yeah.
ideograms, which are symbols meant to represent entire ideas. So stuff like numbers, or the symbols that we use in math, those are ideograms. The number 1 represents the entire concept of 1, just like the plus symbol represents the entire concept of addition.
Languages made up from ideograms are able to tell very complex stories with relatively few symbols. If you want an example, we can look at UNLWS, or the Unker Nonlinear Writing System. Using this, we can break this big squiggly line into smaller squiggly lines, each with their own individual meaning, like me or eats. But put together, this symbol means I eat a large fish.
So, given how the individual symbols on the cover of Leslie's book all flow into one another, it would make sense then that the DHMIS language works in a similar way to UNLWS.
Yup, the individual symbols each convey an idea that can be put together to make a much longer and more complicated story. This would also explain why it took Red Guy so many keystrokes to type out Yellow Guy's name in the computer episode.
Maybe it's my name. Try my name. Remember the hyphen.
He has to combine a bunch of symbols to create the idea of Yellow Guy.
Also, it's, just a funny joke.
Yeah, that too, I suppose. Sometimes some things are in there just to be funny.
No, never. We take everything way too seriously here. There is no such thing as a joke or an Easter egg in this house. No, sir. Just a bunch of sloppy lore.
Don't you mean lore?
Not bad.
Why, thank you. But what's
So the reason why he took forever just to put Yellow Guy's name was because it's not a word, it's more of a symbol.
interpreted the 3 major symbols, we know how the writing system works, but what's it all trying to say?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think it relates to those windows in Leslie's room.
I'm actually glad you brought those up because they're one thing that you kind of glossed over in your videos and something that I haven't seen anyone else fully address. Just to fill everyone in, when Yellow Guy first enters Leslie's room, he walks past a series of 3 windows, each with an item from one of the episodes on display. There's a square window with the Chuddle Dollops from episode 3 Family, a diamond window with the shovel from episode 2 Death, and a circular window with the batteries from episode 6 Electricity.
Okay, so 2 was death. Okay,
Notice
I
the
kind of forgot
writing
that.
on those windows. They're colored green, red, and yellow, which obviously is going to line up with the characters in the series, Duck, Red Guy, and Yellow Guy.
But the items don't really seem to line up with the colors they're assigned to. I mean, sure, the batteries in the yellow window make sense because in that final episode, Yellow Guy changes his batteries and suddenly becomes smart, but Duck can't open the bag of Chuddle Dollops in episode 3.
Now, let's crack into these chuddy D's.
Open up! Open up!
I can't.
In the end, it's Red Guy who manages to open the bag.
I think things might go a little differently this time. I guess we could share.
I know, and the same thing happens with the shovel. Despite being in the red window, Red Guy's the only one to never interact with the shovel at all in episode 2. Yellow Guy uses it to dig up Duck, and Duck ultimately uses it to kill his doppelganger.
Actually, no. 4 doesn't work. There's 3 of us.
So why would these items be associated with characters who failed to use them on the show? Well, I suspect it's a hint to the greater story that's happening here. The same story that's being told by the book. You see, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is a story all about characters. Not only does Leslie outright say this at the end of episode 5,
No matter how much the wheels turn, the journey always ends up back at home.
other characters openly acknowledge how repetitive their lives are.
All we do is sit around and then some guy comes and tells us about banks or vegetables.
The cycle really seems to be getting to Red Guy.
We live in an actual nightmare!
And of course, there's the picture of Yellow Guy walking up the stairs as he's walking up the stairs. This is clearly not the first time he's done this, despite having no explicit memory or knowledge of it in the past. So if we're in a cycle that repeats over and over, maybe there are parts of the story that play out differently in different repetitions of that cycle. During this iteration,
So that means all 6. So that means the 5 previous episodes that aren't excluding electricity always lead to the same thing. But it's told differently. Electricity is probably the only episode where everything's the same. Yellow Guy gets batteries replaced, and he becomes super smart and realizes what's going on to at least a certain degree, and does his thing where he goes up the stairs, goes through all these rooms until he gets to Leslie, and then bam, that's it. It continues back and goes back to episode 1. Heck, there could have been episodes that haven't been said yet or done yet, because Red Guy mentions vegetables, or it could be talking about the original series that I've been doing, and all that, and that could be what Red Guy's talking about. All these different things, all these different episodes, and all these... Well, I think you get the point, but still. It's a continuous thing that's happening over and over again, with different things happening. So maybe Yellow Guy and all this is the same. Yeah, actually that might be true. Because Red Guy, when it came to death, said that he was pretty sure he was dead. So maybe in another world he was the one that died. Or maybe in the first iteration of the first 5 episodes, he was the one to die, and the story played completely different than the one we saw. And in Family, Doug actually met his own family and opened the bag. And all that. Yeah. Though I don't know about episode 5, I can say that everything's literally going to be the same, because it always has the same kind of ending. It's only told in a different way.
Of the loop, Yellow Guy ended up with the batteries, while Duck used the shovel to kill his doppelganger, and Red Guy opened the Chuttle Dollops. But clearly, things aren't quite right. Things didn't turn out for the best, and that's because things didn't align with what Leslie has up here in her room. Red Guy didn't end up using the shovel, and Duck doesn't open the Chuttle Dollops himself.
That would actually make sense. We know for a fact that things can change during each loop. First of all, we see recurring characters and props from the YouTube series appearing here on the TV show. Things like the clock teacher, the notepad, the computer teacher, and even the food guy, they're all here, but are used in very different ways.
There's also repeated references to Clay Hill, the town that was supposed to be the focus of DHMIS's original TV pilot. It's here, crossed out on the blackboard of the big boys' room, as well as here during the transportation episode.
What about just down here?
I'm sorry, that place doesn't exist anymore.
It shows that the cycle has some level of awareness of the past, but with small changes in each run.
Inside joke or lore?
And then here, just take a look at this house from the beginning of episode 5 compared to this house from the beginning of episode 6. Notice anything different? For the house in the episode 6 intro, there are additional bricks on the corners. All the curtains and windows are different colors, and there are fewer trees around the house when compared with episode 5.
This would make sense because this is a different house in a different loop. Remember, Leslie has to reset everything at the end of episode 5.
And this, my friends, is what I suspect the book is for. It's telling Yellow Guy the correct series of events that he and his friends need to do, explaining what Duck needs to do with the Chuttle Dollops, what Red Guy needs to do with the shovel, what Yellow Guy needs to do with the batteries. It's telling Yellow Guy and us the story that needs to happen in order for everything to move forward. We even get hints of it on the cover.
Oh, so it wasn't what I thought. It's just everything was used in a different way. The only one who completed their part was Yellow Guy. That makes me curious, why wasn't Red Guy still aware after episode 5? He seems pretty aware, and then after episode 6, not so much. Unless episode 6 is actually the beginning, and it goes back to episode 1, which would technically be episode 2, so that's confusing.
Thanks to the pictures embossed in the leather. There's a lot of stuff on here that we can recognize from the first 6 episodes. Duck's decapitated head, Young's dismembered hand, the shovel, the batteries, the coin, but a lot of it just doesn't quite fit right. Notice the worms.
Eagle!
Sorry, notice the eagles around the coin and battery. That character had nothing to do with either of those stories. There's also this weird decapitated Yellow Guy head on here, something that, again, we didn't see in the first 6 episodes. Why are all of these markings on the book if they never happen? Because they're supposed to happen. This book is literally a script for the right series of events to help break the loop, to end the suffering, the torment, so everyone can just move on. To help break the loop, to end the suffering, the torment, so everyone can just move on. Speaking of scripts, you know one thing that never quite sat right with me throughout these first 6 episodes? Grolton and Hovris. At random points throughout the episode, the show just takes a break from the action so the characters can sit down and watch clips from this in-universe Wallace and Gromit spin-off. It is weird, it is random, and the sequences can last for a surprisingly long time.
I just realized Brother's visit isn't until next month.
Grolton is the dog.
No, Grolton is the man, Hovris is the dog, I reckon.
But you know that when a creator chooses to include something so prominently in their series, you gotta ask yourself why. So I did. Have you noticed who worked on these episodes? Leslie. In episode 3, we can actually see that she's credited as a script editor for Grolton and Hovris. And that's interesting, because
Why would she make something like that?
it means that in DHMIS, Leslie holds a position of creative power. So if she's a script editor and also happens to be handing Yellow Guy a book that explains everything, it's likely the book is a script for the correct sequence of events. The only question left is why? What's it all for?
Well, it might be due to forces beyond their control. You see, during one of my rewatches, I noticed this offhand joke in episode 2 as Lamp explains what he thinks happens in the afterlife.
Well, something tells me that when we die, we go into the center of the earth, and we must relive our lives, but as a performance for a new super race known as the Council. And every time you get it right, you get £1.
When I first watched the show, that always struck me as a bit weird and off the
Yeah, that is a bit weird, so I have to agree,
That was just so strange that it didn't make any sense. But then I realized that this is how episode 1 ends.
Oh yes, I almost forgot. You've earned this.
Duck is given the DHMIS equivalent of a £1 coin, while everyone else is left penniless. Now, this could be Duck's digital currency based around respect, but if we take what the lamp said at face value, this must mean that they weren't being paid by the council for their parts in reenacting this part of their lives.
We've theorized in the past that Red Guy has a creative soul, but in his Jobs episode, he winds up as a manager of the factory. Knowing what we know about him, he would never be a manager at a factory like that. He didn't do it right. Same thing with Yellow Guy. As the episode goes, Yellow Guy grows old in the factory and ultimately retires to be with his family. But if Yellow Guy is really David, then he wouldn't have lived nearly as long as we see him live during the storyline. It appears that whatever happened in this episode with Duck was a part of the correct order of events needed for the series to progress, which also means the council are the people deciding it all.
But then who, or what, is the council?
Well, at first I thought that maybe the council represented the cast and crew of the series, the creatives working to make this show a reality. After all, the show breaks the fourth wall constantly, with performers, producers, and directors visible to us as the audience. Like here, during episode 4, where we can see several puppeteers, Red Guy's actor, even co-creator Becky Sloan during the episode itself. Or here, in episode 6, where Yellow Guy sees 2 of the puppeteers piloting the teachers in the big boy room. But then I remembered that there's a house above Leslie's room, accessible via a stairwell hidden in the back corner. And so if Leslie is a creator of sorts, then what's above creators in a creative industry? Well, that's the people with the money. Producers who won't proceed with scripts and fundum until you get it right. Heck, you could even argue that there may even be a level above them, the audience, who seem to be more than willing to watch the same stories over and over and over again with just slight variations, but also an audience who immediately blows up and gets angry when something is just slightly off. It's funny, the Don't Hug Me I'm Scared YouTube series spent so much of its hidden mystery talking about creatives and how money corrupted what should be a pure form of art with kids' entertainment. I was actually surprised that the TV show seemed to veer so far away from that sort of meta commentary, since it seems so important to the creators in that.
That's actually quite disturbing when you put it that way. Just saying.
Original series. I suppose we just needed to look a little bit harder, didn't we?
Is this when we get to say the thing?
Yep, this is when we say the thing.
But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
And a huge, huge thank you to Rem Games for joining us on this episode and sharing his incredible research with us. Please do me a favor, go over to his channel right now, it's linked on screen, and watch his 6-part series covering DHMIS. He goes into so much more detail about stuff we didn't have the chance to cover today. Let me tell you, he is digging even further into the mysteries of the series, and other series. So go, give him a watch, and then do me a favor, comment on his latest video something funny. Make sure your comment includes the words fluffernutter, because I just think that's a really funny troll word.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Slayer
It's
nut.
been an honor being here. I'd like to thank my dog, my fish, my lobster, my dodo bird, and Toucan Sam. Over on my channel, I have a bunch of videos that are theory-based, analysis-based, and whatever else your heart desires, including a few things that any of you who are theorists might want to check out. And I like to interact with all of you, so don't be shy to communicate. Again, thank you so much to the entire team behind the Film Theory videos. This has been super fun and absolutely amazing.
And lastly, as we wrap things up, this is one final reminder of our Film Theory holiday.
And with that, I'm going to not record this part because I don't want to take credit for something else. Alright, that's something to really consider here. We have some interesting clues, interesting facts, interesting details. Can't say that the details aren't interesting. No, really, you can't really say it's not interesting because this is actually really cool to actually go over. So, we now know pieces of the puzzle. One symbol is Duck's name, another symbol is Red Guy, and the last symbol is Yellow Guy. I find this a bit interesting because to be honest, I figured that Duck and Duck and Red Guy, I figured that their things would be right next to each other or one on top of the other. But no, it's actually really different. It's actually Yellow Guy on top. Then under him is green is Duck, and then on the bottom right side, it's actually Red Guy. I find that really strange, to be honest. It makes no sense why that would be the case. Because, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense. It's just a weird thing to put together right there. You put 3 characters together, but yet they're either not on the same side, or you would kind of expect Yellow Guy to be on the other side, because he's technically a dead character, a dead person. That was put together into this series. It's a weird thing that I don't really get why specifically. But it just seems very important to just mention it. And the fact that the only way to break this thing and the only way to actually get it right is, well, this. You gotta get the right story events. And I think episode 1 was done correct. But in episode 5 maybe, but it's just it's the episodes that involve family and death that are just completely different. So it might be that the other 4 episodes were done correctly, maybe, because I don't know about the worm thing, because let's be honest, I don't think anyone would kind of know the right events, because it seems like it was right. I mean, unless the worm was really a parasite and he wasn't supposed to be involved with any of this, so maybe Red Guy was supposed to dig up Duck, or maybe Red Guy was supposed to be the one dead, or no, wait. If that's the case, then the coffin would take him. Yeah, that's a confusing bit, to be honest. Maybe it is Red Guy supposed to dig up Duck and then kill the thing that was trying to mimic him? I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I don't understand it. It's just it. Yeah, do you get it? It's a weird thing. Maybe the events were right. It's just the last bit of the episode was wrong. That's probably it. Duck didn't try to open the bag. Red didn't go dig up Duck and brought him back. Or maybe it was supposed to go with Yellow to go get him, but and then all that. But still, the only episode that was done right was Yellow, where he was supposed to use where he was supposed to get the batteries. And yeah, it's possible episode 5 was done correctly, but it still leads to so many things to consider. Maybe they were supposed to do all these events the right way, and bam! They were supposed to all go up the stairs. They were all supposed to leave, or something like that. But I think Leslie is trying to prevent this so that she can't really move on. I think she's just really stuck in the past, and no one can really get her out of it until it's too late and everything happens the way it's supposed to. But considering the fact that Leslie is actually just preventing that from happening, honestly, proves otherwise. It's a strange thing, but yeah. I could be wrong, I could be right, so Can't really say. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, again, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. And give some love and support to Game Theory and Rem Games for this duo theory. Because they did some ton of work just to figure all this out and put together this amazing theory for us to see. So, just saying, go ahead and do that. Other than that, again, I hope you all enjoy this video. If you have any other videos you want me to react to, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll react to it as soon as possible. And tell me your thoughts on this theory, because this is an interesting one, and I can see how some of these events could happen, and what's the correct sequence of events that they were supposed to follow, but it's just like a loose thread, in my opinion. But again, other than that, hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!